Alright, what's up y'all? Welcome back to Let's Play Hiveswap Friendsim for the third time. My third playthrough of Hiveswap Friendsim, in which instead of playing by myself or sending photos to a friend, I'm making a commentary YouTube series out of it, because we're in the second to last week of the series, and this is the first YouTube series I've ever completed, so welcome to that, y'all. Potential spoiler warnings for Homestuck proper, some Homestuck fanfics, this game, Pesterquest, Hiveswap. Honestly, it's all over the place. Character voices may be inconsistent. You will know all of that information. Today, I just want to give, I keep, pre-recording, recordings after the episode. I do just want to clarify, today is Lanque's route. This route makes me uncomfortable, for a number of reasons, both, for being a lesbian reasons, and for writing reasons. I don't feel qualified to talk on some of the other issues this route has, but honestly, if you're watching this series, you probably already know what's about to happen. So I guess I just kind of wanted to put up front that this episode's probably going to be less energetic. I'm going to try my best, but if you notice, I don't sound like I'm having a good time. That's probably why. And I might honestly try to make this episode a little bit shorter, so I might not do as much commentary as usual. And I'm going to be doing something similar to the Marvis episode, where I'm not going to add anything in post, unless I think it is vital to making a point, or clarifying a statement, just because I don't want to spend that much time on this episode. Honestly, you know, I haven't played Act 2 to the point where he shows up, but I feel like this route did him dirty. So normally I would end the episode on the true ending, or the good ending, but in this one I'm going to end the episode on the valid ending, because as much as I hate that ending for the mockery it makes of bisexual people and people looking to make interesting headcanons and readers who may be uncomfortable with sexual content, it is a slightly nicer ending than the one, the NSOW routes, basically. Yeah, I think that's kind of, like I said, I honestly usually end up making these, statements in post. I'll go record fucking on. That's why you just will see a random picture of John Egbert in my pictures sometimes. Or my videos. I can't talk. I also have to go to work, for the first time in a week today. So I'm not looking forward to that. Sorry, I just pulled up the Lanque's wiki page, as I usually do. At this point, you know the drill. I pull up the wiki page, I read things. I'm actually going to pause real quick so I don't have to cut this out. I'm going to go read his roots real quick, and then we'll come back and get started. Okay, also, I should have put this in the front of the video. This episode, for reasons to be introduced, this route in general does have an adult warning on it. I may add this either in the description. I'll probably add this in the description, or in a pinned comment, but I will add a skip to where the valid ending is, just in case, I guess. So yeah. I always add the warnings. Oh, actually, you know, we'll talk about some Pesterquest stuff when we get the first bad ending. You crash landed onto a planet called Alternia. You staggered from the wreckage of your ship. You are desperate for information, for provisions, and possibly a bit of medical attention. But most of all, you are desperate for friendship. Is what you could say if you're written by a bunch of hacks who cared about the Aristotelian ideal of narrative unity. Possibly you could make some reference to a circle being complete in a thoughtless and imbecilic manner. But we're all in this together, right? And we've all learned and grown enough to know that there's something deep and dark and absurd brewing beneath the surface. This really isn't about friendship anymore, is it? You've got enough friends. Now you need answers. Oh, god damn it. This is just the intro screen. Also, look at the small trolls. The small trolls we'll get to. What's next on the docket? Oh, you're really feeling like going completely off the rails. So it's a good thing the first person to ping you on your palm list is Lanque. That nutty bitch is exactly the sort of stabilizing influence your life needs right now. I forgot that happened to... I mean, she is a little bit... Hello. My friend. Because that's what we are now. Friends. Cool. That's not a weird way at all to talk to someone. You really are loving this one. You're not sure what it is, but you're positive whatever crackpot caper this loopy troll is about to rope you into is finally it's going to be a real humdinger. There's a sense of finality in the air. You can taste it. I forgot just the fucking opening dia. I'm sorry. This is why I gave the warning at the beginning of the video. I don't like this writing very much. I mean, I think I mentioned in Marvis's episode that this person seems to have a really nice way with words. Like, they know how to put together words really well. I just wish this wasn't the words they were putting together. And if you're gonna come at me like, you just can't handle it. No, I read Homestuck. I read Homestuck as a young teen. I think this language is combative to it's not fun combative, because sometimes Homestuck is combative to the reader. This isn't the fun version of being combative to the reader, you know? This just feels like they're being mean. Like in the sense where like a stranger comes up to you on the internet and like starts joking around with you, but like they're not your friend. They're just rude. Lanque does the courtesy of listening to you say all that shit without getting super put off by how much of a freak you are. Listen up. So I was thinking, since us becoming friends has worked out so well, I'm starting to think maybe it'd be a good idea to give making more friends another shot after all, I guess. That's what I was thinking, so there's this party I was invited to. You see, the fellow jades in my cloister always sneak out to go to these things. You gently suggest to Lanque that she should hurry the fuck up. Okay, so I'm nervous and I want to go. Nervous to go and I want a friend. So come with me, okay? Is that so crazy? No, you don't think that's crazy at all. You think it sounds fantastic, actually. You don't ask for any details because who gives a shit? We're back at the party scene. Anyway, you show up on the block. You're not going to talk about how you got there or whatever because what a waste of time. You're just there. Lanque's met up with you too. Lanque mentioned that there might be dancing, and so you decided to really dress up for the occasion. Oh man, you went fucking nuts. You're wearing a cape and shit, but also like fishnets, maybe a sexy bra if that's your thing. Whatever you happen to drug out of some dumpster or whatever, or another. Honestly, you can imagine whatever you want here, but no, it's complete bullshit and you look like a total slut. Lanque isn't wearing anything special because we would have had to pay someone to redraw all her sprites. From the looks of it, you're heading over to somebody's hive party? You're rolling up on some kind of joint that, from past experience, you can now surmise is an alien domicile. It's pretty big and maybe belongs to someone on the blue end of the spectrum. Back here again. Is this the block where is this block just where all the jade-blooded schoolgirls love to get down and dirty? It hits you like a bucket of ice when you realize whose hive you're walking straight towards this time. This is our Dada's hive. Oh, that's just great. Your friend Ardata. Boy, do you love Ardata. You can't wait to see her again. What the fuck? As you approach, you can immediately tell what kind of deal they have going on here. You can hear the tunes bumping all the way down the block, and when you get near enough to see there are obviously a bunch of teens passed out drunk on the lawn, this is a full-blown frat house rager. Definitely doesn't seem like Lanque's sort of scene. That's because it isn't! Oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm doing this. You kind of can't either. You're not even in the front door and you can already feel the sweat pouring out of your armpits. This is gonna be so much fun. You pass all the smashed lawn teens and go up to knock on the front door. You have to rap on it a few times until the telltale sounds of clicking heels faintly reaches your ears. The door opens and you discover that the gracious host is standing on the inside is none other than your best friend Ardata. Woohoo! She looks surprised to see you for only a moment, for her face resolves into a wicked grin. My. Look what the Purby's dragged in. Back for more so soon, my sweet? You're not actually sure how much time has passed since you last ran into our data, but it doesn't feel like it can be described in any metric by soon. You've been physically savaged so many times since then, you're not sure what you're blocking out, though. You tell our Dada you're really, 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 really glad to see her, because you totally are. You tell her you weren't expecting her to be hosting a party, though. Oh, I don't know if I'd call it a party. More of a friendly kickback of sorts. Sort of exclusive, really. All the world's finest influences are here. How exactly did you hear about my little shindig? While I certainly consider you to be one of my finest friends, I don't recall inviting you. You gesture vaguely to Lanera. She doesn't seem to know how to lie and immediately cracks under the pressure. One of the other droids in my cloister told me to come. His name is Lanque, but I don't think he was invited either. I get the impression we kind of always come out here. Basically, we're crashing, if that's okay? Well, of course. What's an informal soiree without a few entirely uninvited interlopers? Lanera doesn't seem to know if she's being sarcastic or not, and you aren't sure if she is either, to be honest. Kind of like, are you fucking with us? And she's like, ho ho ho, ha ha, or whatever. Of course not. I just have but one question for you, my dears. Oh, she gets so close to the screen. I'm gonna go take a second. I'm gonna go plug in my phone because I have work tonight. You won't notice. I'm gonna pause the music or the game. Kill me. Anyway. Okay, my phone's plugged in. Ardata beckons you near. You obey her slavishly. Then she leans in close to your ear and intones. I'm not gonna read this in her voice. Do you hereby certify under penalty of law that... That was my phone. Give me a second. It was the most boring possible work news. Fuck. Hey, look at my background. Okay. Get back into the zone. Like I said, I'm not going to read this in her voice. There are too many fucking eyes. Do you hereby certify under penalty of law that you are of age to view adult content within your state of legal residence, have acknowledged the contents of this volume's accompanying mature content description, and are comfortable with the prospect of engaging in challenging or otherwise controversial fictional material? Here, I'll put on our data. Here is where I'm going to put the timestamp for the valid ending. Controversial fiction. Whatever. You bet, Chief. Tell her to let you in. That's good to hear. Why don't you come right in then, my dear? I don't want to see you making any little posts online about how my party was too fucking problematic for you, though. I think it's that. It's that kind of tone. It's that tone right there. And like some of the stuff about like the pro, because I'm pretty sure. Let's just double check to make sure. Nope. Let's just double check to make sure that I am in fact thinking of the right person. Yes, Marvis and Lanque were written by the same person. So this is why this has the same problem. A content warning does not excuse or exempt you from criticism. Some of the shit that they pulled in this route is not exempt from criticism just because they slapped a mature content warning on the front. And I think it's that kind of, like I said, it's not combative in the fun way. It's not having a good jant with your friends in a Discord call. It's not like me and, it's not like my D&D group and I joking about, how my character's a fucking dumbass. Like, it's pushing buttons for the sake of pushing buttons, and I'm pretty sure that person has a history of that, which it just makes these aspects of the game less enjoyable, Like, it could have been really interesting, I think, to see, like, the concert, like, the rap concerts, and, like, how these events are perceived, and like, all of this, the finer social details of Alternia. But instead, we get this combative watch me say something controversial for the sake of saying something controversial bullshit. And it's just, it's frustrating. Because the rest of this game, I think, is great. I think the rest of this game is really fun. But, you know, I ended up, you know, dreading the last week of this show, or the second to last week, because we still have the epilogues. And I'll put it this way. I also hate Doc Scratch. I don't like it. But I'm not gonna dunk on his root because he's a villain. You're supposed to hate him. I think he's fun to hate. I make fun of him for being a puppet. Or a little, I know he is a puppet. You know? And like, I can play that route, and I could just be like, oh, fuck Doc Scratch with a bunch of middle finger emojis and not lose any enjoyment of the actual game. I did mean to go on this rant. My food's supposed to be here in like 20 minutes. Anyway. Ardata steps back and welcomes you again into her abode with a grandiose gesture. You're very, very excited for Ardata's party, and know definitively that you will absolutely enjoy every second of what she has in store for you. Damn it! Again! Whatever. Once you've stepped in past the threshold, Ardata blows you a toxic kiss and saunters off to mingle with her enthusiastic guests. The first thing that hits you once you're in the door is the music. It's a solid wall of bass that reverberates through your body, down in your bones. Oh, there's Skyla. There's Damien, there's Hot Dog Troll. That's cute. The intense dance track is blasting so loud you can hardly hear yourself think. It has to be this loud to drown out all the shouting coming from the living room. As you apprehensively advance, it becomes quickly clear that Lanque is completely out of her element here. She's a bundle of nerves beside you, practically glued to your hip. When you actually step into the living room, she physically attaches herself to your arm. Oh, wow, this is more than I was expecting! You too. It's a scene of absolute chaos. The living room of the house is filled to the brim with rowdy teens, dancing rhythmlessly to the pounding music. The furniture has all been knocked over or otherwise destroyed, and you can make a pretty good guess of what's filling all the red cups you see in everyone's hands. You're about to tell Lanque you wouldn't blame her if she wants to dip, but you can't get the words out before you're being flagged down by a jade-blooded boy who's just muscled his way out of the throng of partygoers with a few of his friends in tow. Oh, I didn't think about how I was going to do his voice. I joked, I think, in my head about giving him a British accent, but I don't know if I could do a British accent. I don't. Sorry, I usually announce these before I do this, but I just took a break from recording. I'm sure if you look in the corner, you can tell how long it was. I wasn't paying attention. Hi, Kitty. I didn't solve the voice issue. I just had to take a break and go complain on Twitter. Lanque, you made it. Lanque all but flings herself away from your body and freezes like a scared animal as the troll approaches. For all the commotion and ruckus, she's still remarkably well put together. The vigorous dance huddle doesn't seem to have disturbed his sharp makeup or his impeccably coiffed hair. There is a curious red stain on the front of his white shirt, though. He has a slutty-looking indigo-blooded girl on his right arm and an even sluttier-looking teal-blooded boy on his left, though he shakes them off and waves them away by the time he reaches you and Lanque at the entryway to the room. Actually, you know what? I'm making this decision now. It's my YouTube series and I can do whatever I want. I'm not gonna do the bad ending. I'm not. I'm sitting here and I'm trying my best and I wanted to be true to this series, but I keep having to pause and walk away from this episode. I just don't want to. I don't want to go through that again. I don't want to have to read that out loud. And I think that's within my rights as a person. So maybe this episode won't be as long as I thought. Yeah, I'm gonna get the good ending. And then I'm gonna do the valid ending, and then the episode's over. Yeah. Sorry, it just hit me. Like I said, I'm just... Yeah, I'm sure my feelings at this point are pretty clear. Hi, Lanque. Yeah, I'm here. You watch in amusement as Lanera practically bursts into flame under his gaze. It only gets worse when he sidles up to her to give her a startlingly intimate embrace. She squeaks and tries to hug him back, but it is too timid to actually touch him with her hands. You can see sweat pouring down her face. After a solid 5 seconds, it seems to include Lanque smelling Lanera's hair, he pulls back to smile down at Lanera with a heavy gaze. Lanera's face is bright green, and her eyes are bugging out of her skull from how flustered she is. But she's not into it, you don't think? It's hard to tell, but you get the impression he'd be dead by now if she weren't. Either way, it's awkward. Lucky for Lanera, Lanque either doesn't notice or doesn't care. He settles into a comfortable, for him, posture with his arm casually around Lanera's waist and turns to you. Oh, who's this? This is my... friend? Yeah. Lanque quirks an eyebrow. You have friends? The question seems to leave Lanera speechless, so Lanque takes the opportunity to look back at you. His eyes break up and down your body in a way that leaves you feeling distinctly objectified. Oh, aren't you interesting? Is there a reason you look like that? What a question. He doesn't explain what that is specifically referring to, and given both your alien status and state of dress, it could mean any number of things. You might take it as an insult if not for the way he licks his lips after he says it. He can't seem to pry his eyes off of you. You look at Lanera for a cue, but she's too out of it to give you any sort of intelligible sign. So you just explain how you crash-landed on this alien planet an indeterminate amount of time ago, and you don't really know what you're doing or much of anything about anything. The fact of your appearance could be due either to this, or that you're generally a disaster of a being irrespective of your planetary origin. Oh, fascinating. I've never met an alien before. Well, you have. Lots of times. In fact, literally everyone and everything is alien to you. You find your word diarrhea becoming more and more awkward and embarrassing as Lanque's eyes start burning a hole in the center of your chest. There's no need to be so shy. I don't bite until asked. Lanque disconnects himself from Lanera as he rounds on you. It's like he's lost any interest in her existence now that you're in front of him. Lanera looks at you with a completely pathetic expression and readily informs you as to what your response needs to be. You'll be damned if you aren't going to be the best wingman possible, so you definitely ignore Lanque's bait and pass and turn the conversation back to Lanera. You ask Lanque how long he and Lanera have known each other. Lanque raises his eyebrows at the question. Well, I suppose since you was chosen for the cloister. Some number of sweeps ago. I don't remember really. It was 2.3 sweeps. 2.43 sweeps. Oh, right, then. That many, I guess. It's a pretty long time, actually. Yeah. Pretty impressive that you managed to get a solid 2.4 of them without saying a single word to me that wasn't circulated back to me secondhand from a snide gossiping behind my back. Oh, wow. Talk about whiplash. Lanera's eyes get big like saucers. What? What are you... I don't know what you're talking about. The tone of the conversation has totally morphed from fire to ice in an instant, though neither Lanque's expression nor demeanor have changed much. He slips in the knives with all the calm composure of a casual statement. What, do you want to pretend you didn't spend the better part of the past 2.5 sweeps complaining about how much I disgusted you? Come on, come now. You do know that everyone is aware you're a nasty little bitch, right, Lanera? I mean, don't take it the wrong way, I really don't mind. I'm hardly in a position to criticize. I was just curious what caused a sudden change of heart after suddenly decrying my vain and slatternly lifestyle. Have the impending ordeals finally made the little clock start to tick down in that dry, dusty nook of yours? Did you figure I was the only one who might be loose enough to be willing to clean up the cobwebs before you get shipped off to Space Church and never have the chance again? Just wondering. That didn't feel good. There's a long, excruciating moment where Lanera says nothing. She just stares up at Lanque beside her with a completely shell-shocked expression. But before you can try to pipe up in Lanera's defense, she bursts into tears. Oh, no. When Lanque suddenly turns and makes a mad dash to run out the door and away from the party, you're torn between running after her and giving this jerk a real piece of your mind. Your mind's made up when you look back at Lanque just in time to catch him rolling his eyes. Hey, you say that was kind of rude, don't you think? Lanque snorts. Me? Rude? Are you perhaps intending to fuck with me? Clearly you haven't spent much time around this bitter pill if you think that was anything short of precisely what she deserves. Anyway, I paused again. You concede that you maybe just don't have a full enough grasp on Jade Bloodquist, her social dynamics, to make a definitive judgment on whether or not Lanque deserved to have been so ruinously owned. But she's your friend, and what good are you if you don't stick up for the people you care about? Also, I hate that there was fucking Jade Blood Cloister lore in the middle of this. I totally forgot about that, and it would have been so helpful in my talk about cloister dynamics in, I think, Daria's episode. Fuck. I have no idea what even got her so upset. Like I said, it's not like I really care what she says about me, but you don't get to spend as much time as she does being such a venomous little snake and act surprised when someone calls you out on it. Then why did you invite her, you ask? It seems needlessly cruel of Lanque to lead her on under false pretenses if he never intended to be her friend at all. I promise you had no such designs. The reason I even invited her was that this thing is my ex as being a real blood-sucking bitch and no one else wanted to go. I was willing to give her an honest shot, but I've no time for a vicious, slandering nag who can't even admit what she is. I thought it might be interesting to see what that crusty little shrew might be like if I could manage to wrest her bulge free of whatever excruciating knot she's got it tied into, but I guess now we'll never know. Well, this is clearly a conversation you're going to have to switch one out of pretty soon. What? You try to explain the historical significance of Switzerland's political neutrality on your home planet. Lanque's eyes glaze over like he's listening to you recite a sports almanac of cricket stats. That's nice. Anyway, since I seem to have scared away my date, why don't you stay a while, so you and I can get to know each other a little better? You seem much more interesting than she is anyway. Fuck, he gets so close to the screen. When did Lanque get up so close to you? Your heart beats a little faster when he smiles at you like that, so poisonous and shamelessly laced with intent. Lanque is definitely not the only one coming off like a snake here. I've less time to witness than most, my dear. Never seen the value in beating around the bush. Well, maybe it'd be socially prudent for you to go after Lanque and make sure she's okay. But it's also not her volume of the Friendsim, so instead of doing that, you're going to stick around and see what this spectacularly brewery prima donna is all about. You had your fucking chance to bail out of the shit show, but that's all that's left now is to barrel downhill as meteorically as you can manage. Fantastic. Care to dance? Why the fuck not? Because I don't want to be here. Lanque laughs pleasantly and reaches out to take you by the hand. The contact gives you a nice little thrill despite yourself. He's got nice hands, soft and warm and well taken care of, and you know it's going to be one hell of a ride wherever he's taking you. I paused again, my food guy here. Come with me. So I'm just looking at all the trolls. You do. He doesn't lead you straight to the dance floor, though. He takes you around the throng of dancing partygoers and over to the kitchen of the house first. You weren't expecting to find a familiar face waiting for you there. Fancy meeting you here. You don't find it that surprising, honestly. You two know each other? You could say that. That's just great. Do you give discounts to friends? I sure fucking don't. You know the price, pretty boy, pay up. You're a little confused. What is being purchased here exactly? Elwood gives you a funny look. You a drone? What? Hush. You do as you're told and watch as Lanque and Elwood carry out their shady transaction. Lanque hands over the credits and receives an opaque little baggie of something in return. Oh, well. Guess you don't really need to see what's in that thing to figure out what it is at this point. His nails are painted red. That's pretty. As soon as the deal is done, Lanque has his hand away at the small of your back and is deftly guiding you away from the scene of the crime. Is buying drugs a crime here? You aren't really well versed with the laws of Alternia, but it honestly doesn't really seem like anybody would give much of a shit about anybody doing drugs here. Because the clandestine transactions are just for the aesthetic. Lanque's got you back in a shady corner of the party and is pressing one of the tablets he bought into your hand with a sly grin. He expects you to join in. You're like, hold on a minute. Your experiences with alien drugs haven't really been that great, honestly, and you're not sure you're that excited for a repeat performance? Lanque's immediate response is to sneer. Oh, I see. You're one of those people. One of what people? I can't take many drugs because they interact with my medications, so that's what kind of person I am. You know, a bit boring, maybe? There are many words that could be used to describe you, but you don't think boring is a remote contender. You're always doing all kinds of unbelievably stupid shit and getting into uncountable, wacky, and life-threatening situations. Is it really that fucking much to ask for there to be one time you don't rush head first into doing something you know is going to fuck you up and be totally awful? Lanque's lips press into a thin, annoyed line. These things aren't cheap, you know. I bought them for you. Well, you didn't ask him to do that, did you? Oh, come on, you really gonna be like this? Yeah, you totally are. Lanque sighs dramatically. Fine. Oh no, it's a boy! Lanque casts around for the nearest victim and grabs his attention with a hand around his wrist. To your dismay, it's your sweetness and hot dog chum, Demian. Alas, there's nothing you can do to stop him from falling prey to Lanque's wicked designs. Here, have these. Oh yeah, great. Thanks, I love to put... I'm not reading that. No, fuck you. I'm not reading that. What a tragedy. But before you know it, Lanque has a hold of you again and is dragging you off. Let's just dance. You're not too much of a square to do that, are you? Of course not. Dancing is basically the one thing you actually planned to come here and do. So that's just great. You go along with Lanque enthusiastically when he pulls you over to the writhing mass of bodies bumping and grinding on the dance floor. You get down to it. You discover that Lanque has a very interesting dance style. And by interesting, you mean it primarily consists of directly grinding his body against yours in an incredibly shameless fashion. But pressed in as you are from all sides by sweating and inebriated bodies, there's not exactly much room for troll gigas to begin with. Lanque is up on you so close it's hard not to sweat. He has his hands at your hips and your face fixed with sharp eyes. His heavy stare is nearly hypnotic, so blatantly and undisguised in his expression. It's clear what he wants, and maybe that's more than you're prepared to give, but when he looks at you like that, it's impossible to look away. Just kidding, I can't make eye contact. I can make eye contact, but it sucks and I hate doing it. You just go with it. Why not? It feels good. It's not like anyone else is watching. You're surrounded by trolls, boxed in and pouring sweat, and yet it feels like you're the only two people there. Lanque draws in, teeth by your ear, and this close you can hear him easily even over the overwhelming pound of the bass. You have the palest skin I've ever seen. Yeah. You tell him you're literally FFFF white, which is like blank. It makes you super racially inoffensive, FYI. You let Lanque know that he can see any way he wants, which is even more woke than making a decision. Thin as paper. I can see all the way inside you. All your veins and your red blood. You smell like candy. Wonder how you taste. Wow. You say, that's like some shit a vampire would say. Presuming I'm a rainbow drinker would be an awfully productive and literal reading of my character. I'm just making a blatant sexual pass. Oh, okay. Good thing that's all cleared up. You take this as an opportunity to really let loose, showing off everything you've got in the sexy dance accoutrement department. Lanque is a little bewildered. What are you doing? You're like, what aren't I doing? There's a fire on the dance floor, and you struck the match. You're just fucking it up in here. Really getting it. Breaking it down. Bopping and crumping and whatever. You're smashing your ass into everyone around you and getting hot and heavy with those lusty moves. There's a point where Lanque has to step back, you presume to properly behold your art in all its glory. But it soon becomes clear that it's not your prestigious dancing skills that have given him pause. You follow his startled gaze and see the car's full arm. Branya is here, and she looks pissed. Oh shit. Branya is still standing in the entryway contending with Ardata, and it looks like she hasn't caught sight of you yet, but Lanque isn't wasting any time. Before you realize what's happening, Lanque has you by the wrist and is hauling you away from the dance floor and off down the hallway. Lanque finds safety in a bedroom. Respite block, you remind yourself when you take stock of the conspicuous absence of any bed, and the presence of the revolting-looking slime cocoon in which trolls allegedly spend their repose. I don't think a recruit raccoon would be that bad. Just saying. You hold each other in a tense and nervous silence pressed against the locked door. What feels like an eternity passes, your breath held. The sound of your blood rushing through your own ears is almost enough to drown out the music. Seconds turn to minutes and nobody comes to find you. It seems, for now, you've escaped Bronya's notice. When you turn your head back to look at Lanque, you find he's been staring at you for some time. I haven't been able to take my eyes off you since the moment I first saw you. You're just so interesting. You freeze like a hare staring down a snake. Lanque lifts his hand to brush a thumb across your cheek, fingers curling under your chin. You meet his eyes. His pupils are so black. I want to know what it'd be like to kiss you. Bad. Lanque's tongue darts out to wet his painted lips. Do you want to kiss me? No. Whoa. Well, you've already clicked on at least 2 mature content disclaimers to get this far. Why the hell not? Because I don't want to be here. Lanque leans in and presses his lips against yours. His kisses are much more sweetly than he looks. His lips are soft and wet and taste like blackberries. This beats out making out with a couple of greasy teens behind a dumpster, that's for sure. One of his sharp fangs nicks your bottom lip. You don't even care. When a drop of your blood beads out on his invasive tongue, Lanque draws back just an inch. You taste sharp and dangerous, like a weapon. Is that a good thing? It's not a bad thing. Lanque pulls back further. His hand slips from your cheek and his fingers trail down your neck to rest on your collar, thumb brushing against the thrum of your pulse. Have you ever beheld before? No. That's a genuine answer. Lanque shrugs off his jacket and starts unbuttoning his shirt. Whoa, is this really gonna go there? No. You're like, well, no, you've never done any alien intercourse with a bucket, but it doesn't look like he even has one on him at the moment. Was apparently the wrong thing to say because Lanque's face scrunches up in displeasure. Don't mock me. It's my first time. You figure laughing would constitute mocking him, so you don't, but the look you give him seems to say enough. Us jades live in the cloisters have been chosen for a very special duty. We're expected to adopt a chaste and ascetic life in service to the continuation of our species. And when we undergo our ordeals are sent off and are sent off-world, there's no such thing as sneaking out of the caverns. Okay, so it's a chosen thing. Okay. And if I don't now win, my life is nearly over. Will you help me feel alive? No. Sorry. But before you could answer, Bonnie's voice starts to rise shrill above the heavy music. Lanque! Lanque's hands shoot out at lightning speed to draw you close. Before you can so much as gasp, he presses one of his palms over your mouth to keep you quiet. Oh shit, she's close, and from the sound of it, she's getting closer. Lanque! I know you're here! You need to come out and come home right now! Lanque leans close to your ear. Shh. What will you do? We're gonna call his mom. And as an apology of sorts, for, I guess, staking a boundary, so I don't know if I should be apologizing for that. Anyway, I'm gonna find... There is a series that pops up my recommended a lot of a Hiveswap Friendsim no commentary let's play. I'm going to put a card up in the corner. You know where cards are. Linking you to that one so you can see that if you want to. So we're going to call in his mom. This has gotten problematic enough. You rip Lanque's hand off your mouth and start yelling for Bronya. What the fuck, dude? Lanque tries to scrub away from you, but to make some sort of last-ditch effort to escape, but it's no use. Bronya hears you and comes running, furious. She hulks the locked door off its hinges before you can even get up to let her in. You duck flying chunks of alien architecture and scuttle off to avoid what you fear might be further alien fists. Lanque! As angry as her voice is, some of the fury goes out of her face the moment her gaze lands on Lanque's state of partial undress. She reflexively brings a hand up to shield her eyes. What in the world? Put your clothes back on right this instant, young man. It's funny because she's younger than him. Lanque freezes where he stands, apparently accepting that he's been caught. There's nowhere left to run if he doesn't intend to fling himself out a window. A sneer uncoils on his face. Oh, please, save the purity act. Like this is anything you haven't already seen a dozen times before. Bronya's face goes bright jade. What? What in the world are you implying? I would never. Forget Lanque, you've always been the craziest bitch in the whole cloister. You know you aren't actually our Lucis, right? Bronya rushes right up to Lanque and slaps him hard across the face. Lanque makes an undignified noise as he recoils from the blow. It looks like that really hurt. His face is sticking right under the handprint. He forces out a strained laugh. My word, Bronya. If you wanted to join us, all you had to do was ask. Damn. I kinda wish you had some popcorn right around now. Kinda just sit back and take it all in. Lanque's invective has its apparent desired effect. Bronya is all but steaming at this point, hands balled into fists at her sides. You kind of want to say hi to your friend, but she's a little preoccupied, it seems. I am not going to rise to your petty baiting. You know you're in the wrong here. 1, we've spoken time and time again about you recklessly sneaking out to these parties, and now you're dragging Lanque into your mess. 2, Lanque has told me all about the things you've been saying and doing to her, and it is completely unacceptable, Lanque. 3, you've had more than enough lectures about the way you treat your flesh quadrant partners, and it absolutely needs to stop. 4, you're coming back with me to the cloisters right now. When we're home, we're going to have one last serious talk about this, and if there aren't changes, there are going to be consequences. Eventually, Bronya's overbearing hollering seems to finally bring Lanque down. He sighs, shoulders slumped, and rolls his eyes. Fine, fine. Bronya crosses her arms indignantly as she waits for Lanque to finish fixing his clothes. I had not taken a drink that entire time. Lanque buttons his shirt, puts back on his jacket and his tie, and then he has to go to retrieve his palm husk, which he seems to have discreetly slid over to where you're standing. He casually saunters his way over, and instead of picking up his own device, snatches yours out of your hand. Hey, I gotta go, but let me give you my Twitter information. Maybe we can pick up where we left off later, sweetheart. Bronya stomps over to grab Lanque by the ear and drag him away, but not before he's finished putting his shitter and contact into your palm husk. He shoves it back into your hand and mouths a "see you later," and then is then fully hauled out of the room. Hypocrite. You need to shut your mouth. And then they're gone. Friendship accomplished, do you guess? We're cheddar mutuals. I don't want to understand. I'm good. Oh no, game over. So let's go get the valid ending. Oof, we're too scared. Oh man, the sound of that is making you quake in your slutty little boots. Controversial fictional material, you say? Damn, it's only starting to sound like a woman wrote this. Count you out. Oh my fucking god. I want to go eat my food. I'm just going to pause the recording. I don't want to deal with editing 2 clips into the same video again. Yeah, here, actually, I'm going to... I guess it's there now. Just so we don't lose the music, I'm going to leave you here for a second. I'm going to go eat my food and take some time to recover from that, and I'll see you when I get back. Alright, what's up, y'all? I'm back. I had some sushi. It was very good. I didn't go out. I had it delivered. Let's get this valid ending. Ardata clicks her tongue. She reaches for the cup of markers she keeps on a table next to the door and pulls one out. You flinch back as she wields it like a weapon to draw a big blue X on the back of your hand. Here. All of my fine guests will know we've had a delicate little angel on our hands. And then she turns to Lanque. And what about you, my sweet thing? Huh? Oh, I'm not real, so it's cool. Very well, then. Welcome to the bash. Drinks are free, but if you die of poisoning, you're contractually obligated to croak in range of one of my cameras. Toodaloo! Sorry. Ardata blows you a toxic kiss and saunters off to mingle with her enthusiastic guests. You and Lanera step past the threshold and have a look around. Lanera is visibly nervous, which is unfortunately a little bit infectious. You ask her where her friend is. She glances around a little bit. Styrofoam noise. Oh, I don't know. He's... Oh, over there! Skyla's here again. We're all having a much more chill time. I'm having a good... This is my kind of party. You follow her gaze into the living area of the house. It's a far cry from the site outside. The music's not nearly so bumping as you originally thought it was. The whole shebang seems to have a pretty chill teenagers drinking Kool-Aid vibe, apart from the fact that it's definitely not Kool-Aid. Everyone's milling about, chatting amicably. You spot a few familiar faces. Damien, flirting with roasting his flank in the hearth. Elward, leaned casually against the doorframe to the kitchen and talking to a cute girl. Skyla, recounting some enrapturing rodeo caper to a group of gathered trolls. It's a real diverse roster of friendly folks. You spot Lanera, who is pointing... Let's start over. You spot who Lanera is pointing to at the center of the parlor's arrangement of couches and armchairs, sat amongst a group of friends on the floor, the only other Jade in the room. He's even more impeccably dressed and done up than the rest of the markedly fashion-forward Jades you've met. When you catch a sight of Lanera, his face lights up, and he rises to make his way over to greet you. Oh, Lanera, you've made it here after all. I was starting to think you weren't going to come. Well, surprise! I didn't... Not come, I mean. I did come. Hi. I'm here. Though... You cringe, but Lanque seems otherwise unaffected by Lanera's astonishingly embarrassing display. He turns to you with a warm smile. And who's this? You can't help but get a little flustered when your eyes meet. His makeup and stylings might lean to the severe and feminine, but he has a contrastingly calm and masculine voice that puts you at ease straight away. He seems to have quite the opposite effect on Lanera. Before you can answer yourself, she starts blabbering a mile a minute. Sorry, my dog was boofing. Oh, this is my friend. I invited them because they're an alien, and I guess I almost murdered them because I was jealous of their friendship with Baroniello, but I didn't want to... But I didn't, and we're friends now, and I'm trying to work past my self-direction obsession with her, and they agreed to come with me because I'm socially anxious and afraid of you, lol. Oh, that's awfully nice of them. Hold on, sorry. I know that was a lot at once. Let me reorganize this statement to a clear, digestible list of bullet points. You've absolutely no need to do that, Lanera. I've understood your points just fine. Oh, okay. Lanque looks back at you. Thank you for helping Lanera feel more comfortable here. Why don't you come and sit with us? Lanque turns and gestures to the other trolls he was speaking with before, a teal-blooded boy and an indigo-blooded girl, neither of whom you recognize. They both have notebooks in their laps. They give you friendly waves. Okay, sounds great. What are we doing? We were just in the middle of a poetry reading. I don't know if you've prepared anything of your own to share, but it might be relaxing just to listen. Poetry? Lanera's face has gone bright green. Oh boy. Why would you think I've written any poetry? I don't really. It was merely a suggestion. Have you? Well, I maybe. Wait, no! You put a comforting hand on Lanera's shoulder, intuiting immediately that she has indeed written plenty of poetry, but is embarrassed by the prospect of sharing any of it. You remind her that she's among trusted friends here, and has nothing to fear. Oh, I guess you're right. Well then, please come and join us. Lanque leads you back to his group, inviting you to sit down with them in a circle. Lanera goes to deliberate lengths to insert you between herself and Lanque so that you're the one sitting next to him. Why don't we pick back up where we left off? I was just about to read my latest piece. You say that sounds great. Lanque's two friends close their eyes and take each other's hands. You and Lanera are both plenty surprised when Lanque and the indigo blood suggests to Lanera try to take yours and close the circle. After your obviously shocked expression, Lanque explains, we find physical contact helps us feel closer on a spiritual level during our poetry sessions. But if you aren't comfortable with it, you're under no obligation. You feel really respected right now, so you and Lanera both assent to join the circle. She even takes the initiative to hold your hand first. Lanque reaches out and takes your fingers gently in his. You don't know what it is, but you can't help yourself from blushing shyly. His hand is soft and warm in yours, short red nails immaculately manicured. Then let me begin. This is a short poem I've written in free verse, based on something haunting me as of late. Reflecting back on our most complicated and passionate past relationships. Forgive me, this might be a bit raw. It is as of yet untitled. Lanque draws a deep breath and closes his eyes. His notebook is open in his lap. But you can see the poem written there in an elegant hand, but he doesn't need to look at it to recite the words. Hi. Sorry there's a lot of pausing in this one. Sorry, the sight of poetry just sent me rattling back to my senior year of high school, and I had to take a moment to take a break. Oh no, the break might not have been long enough, but I want to finish this episode because I have to go to work soon. Fuck. What is the meaning of a memory? A question I oft ponder, intangible and untraceable by anything but the mind, yet so potent as to leave one sick, as poisoned or wounded in a literal sense. And what meaning is there in regret and longing? Can my lamentations change the past? Will they move the future? Shall they amount to much more than what unmoors my here and now? If I restrict my world to that but which is before my eyes, to those whom I may touch, and to that which I might alter, one might no doubt conclude that the thoughts of you are among the last what I could consider to matter. And still you haunt me like a scar, like a disease uneager to abate. Who are you, and who am I, after so long without you? I know, I don't know, I won't know, what I do know, but what I know, and what can it even mean to know? No, no, no. Again, though it so vexes me, though so little I valued it when it was before me. A thing and a you I could touch and see and know and hate and wonder, revile, worship. Now it and you are a traceless ghost, and I preoccupy myself with nothing but futile tasks of redefinition and reinterpretation and circuitous dwellings on that which I understand less, even less now. Than in the times when my wonderings might have been so easily answered with a question or bite or a kiss or even a single word spoken honestly. Pressed I am to give colour to our bond. I look not to onyx nor ash, but that which pulses within our very veins, that so blinding jade, hard as the stone for which it is so named. Twisted and pulled, hammered and forged, shaped unnaturally as if a chain. A stricture within scriptures, a certain so meaningful tincture. Resent you though I must, envy you though I may. Now leagues and leagues stretch between us, and I make peace with not but what I say. You are that, or only that which is within me, that my blood and mind, and that is at once nothing, and the most elementary definition of everything. You realize you were holding a breath. You realize you are holding your breath when Lanque finally finishes. The circle falls into meaningful silence taut as a wire. The tension breaks when his eyes flutter open, tears spilling over his long lashes. You squeeze Lanque's hand gently. He weeps silently and beautifully. Such powerful art. He musters a wan smile as he gazes across the circle at Lanera. Lanera, would you like to read next? Lanera looks stunned. There's moisture gathering in the corner of her eyes. Of course, anyone would be moved by something so emotional and raw. I guess I have a poem I could read. Lanera takes out her planner and opens it, breaking the circle of held hands. She can't recite it from memory like Lanque. When she speaks, her voice is small and timid. This one's called Still. I'm still, I sit still, I do what I'm told, still, I wonder about the way that I am and think still. I see her every day and I still miss her. She hugs me and I still feel cold. I'm surrounded by people and I am still alone. I'm still me, I still love her, and I still hate that. Wow, you're really proud of Lanera for opening up like this. She's crying too now. You reach out, take her hand back in yours. The indigo blood beside her comfortably strokes her shoulder. Sorry, it's not really good and it's long like yours, Lanque. I'm not really a poet or anything. I just wrote down how I feel. Lanera, it's fine. I thought it was beautiful. Poetry is about expressing yourself. It's not important that it be any set length or sound any certain way. All that matters is that you've spoken your blood pressure. And I think you've accomplished that remarkably. We're all very proud of you. You find yourself drawn into a group hug by Lanque and the other trolls. Lanera is sobbing openly now, and her raw emotion seems to have inspired similar pathos in the others. Before you know it, you feel yourself tearing up too. It feels good to get it all out, but before long it's becoming clear that Lanera is kind of reaching her limit. She pulls back and sniffles out something about wanting to go home. Of course, Lanera, if that's what you need. I'll talk to you back at the cloister. Okay. See to that she gets back safe, will you? You tell Lanque that of course you will, and take Lanera carefully by the hand to lead her out of the party. She squeezes her fingers back to let you know she appreciates you. Anyway, you walk back from the party in a comfortable silence for a while. When you glance over her face, it occurs to you that you've never seen Lanera this happy. Of course, this is literally the second time you've ever seen her, so you guess you don't actually have much frame of reference for what her normal emotional state actually is. Hi, people just came home. See, I don't like this ending. Is still... We'll get to it in a second. You really want to encourage her on this path of recovery she's going down and all, as you ask her about, her her and Lanque. I don't like this part. Anyway. What? You know, her and Lanque. What? We're just friends. I mean, it's not like I have a crush on him or anything. I know I've had romantic feelings for a girl before, so it'd be really problematic if I liked a boy now. See, that's such bullshit. Bullshit. It's bullshit. Anyway. Oh, you say you're sorry. You didn't know. It's okay, just don't let it happen again. Monera gives a warm smile and reaches out to pull you into a hug. Thank you for helping me. I was really nervous, and I think if it hadn't been for your help, I wouldn't have been able to come at all. But I did, so thanks. It wasn't perfect, but I think I really opened up tonight. I'll see Lanque again. And you, I hope. And in the future, things will be easier. Right? You certainly will. You put a comforting arm around her shoulders and walk her the rest of the way home. You feel like this night really taught you an important lesson. Not everything is about collecting the largest quantity of friends as is humanly possible. Sometimes strengthening your bond with someone you already know can be just as rewarding. So screw you say, to the concept of good endings and bad endings and narrative railroading. This route makes you feel heckin' valid, and that's fine by you. So there's the valid ending. I won't make you see the do you want to understand again. I feel like my feelings are clear about this particular route. I don't. In fact, I had to take so many breaks during this one. Oh, I was going to say about Pesterquest. So about Pesterquest. So because Pesterquest actually has built-in warning systems, that's how I'm going to do the warnings instead of just putting them at the beginning of the video. I might also read them out because Pesterquest tends to be a little heavier, especially in some of the later volumes. So yeah. That's that one. The twins are next, and then it's Doc Scratch, and then we'll be over with this series. So after that, I'll do a Hiveswap Act 1 Let's Play, and then we'll be rolling on into Pesterquest. So I hope you have a great day. I hope this episode didn't suck too much for you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.